It's a reset that you want to insert into your life on a daily basis. I would even say ideally on an hourly basis. I don't want anything from anyone or anything right now. Because that's how powerful this is. A few seconds, an hour of clarity, of seeing through the illusion of the mind is more powerful than the rest of that hour spent in delusive thinking. So when the mind diminishes, something else comes in its place. And in this case, that is welcome, everyone. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Great. Well, this is very exciting. Thank you for being here. My team was just kind of scrolling through the pages of videos. Very nice to see your faces. So much presence in one intentional space. And let's begin with a few minutes of intentional silence. So see if we can quiet the mind, take a deep breath, and relax the thinking mechanism. And sometimes the easiest way to calm the mind and to open up to a deeper clarity, a deeper dimension of being is to, even if it's not really true yet for you, but just to sort of fake it for a minute, to say to yourself, I don't want anything from anything right now. So just internally, or if you want to, you can say it out loud, but at least internally, think to yourself a few times and try to embody that feeling of not wanting anything from anyone or anything, just for a few minutes. Afterwards, you can go right back to wanting everything you think you want. But to quiet the mind, it's very difficult to try to control the thoughts. Very doable with practice. You can stop the mind at will if you truly want to. But for many people, it's much easier to soften the energy that's behind excessive thinking in the first place, which is motivation, desire, wants, or perceived needs, like I have to do something, or I have to want something, or I have to accomplish something. So if we soften this background energy, this fuel for the thinking mind, then it will naturally relax. Because if you don't have anything to think about for no reason, if there's no reason to think about anything in particular, then suddenly the mind just kind of comes into a quiescence and just kind of sits down. So repeat a few times, trying to really feel that feeling that you don't want anything from anything for just a few minutes. I don't want anything from anyone or anything right now. Take another deep breath and say it one more time. I don't want anything from anyone or anything. You can even kind of say it facetiously like this. Like, I don't even want anything from anyone. Why am I even stressed about anything? Why am I excessively thinking I don't even want anything from anyone or anything? And then you will find your nervous system kind of relaxes and slows down. And as soon as the thick veil of the excessive thinking mind slows down, even by 50%, it has to make room for something else, because in this infinite unity there cannot be a void. So when the mind diminishes, something else comes in its place. And in this case, that is more of yourself. more of what you actually are, more of your beingness, that intelligence which nobody can deny exists, and all scientists are looking for the core of it. Where is it? Is it inside this part of the brain? Is it inside the heart? Is it inside that part of the brain? What happens when the body stops moving and dies? We're all looking for this intelligence, but it's so simple. It's before any perception even occurs to you. You already exist. So just take a moment to recognize this basic presence of your very own sense of I exist. And it's somewhere in between, or a hybrid of a knowingness or recognition and a sensing or feeling. There's no real good word for it, but you could say, okay, you can feel the I am, although it's not a physical sensation. It's more like a psychic sensation. But you could also say, I'm knowing the fact that I am. I'm aware, I'm cognizing the fact that I am. So it's kind of a combination of knowing and sensing the very fact that you exist right now. The simple, basic fact that you exist. That is what scientists are looking for when they look for consciousness. It's that which right now is doing the experiencing without effort. So I always like to start off with this. Most sessions we start off with some version of reconnecting to this basic premise, this inescapable, unavoidable clarity of our own intelligence, of our own aliveness, our own existence. Because honestly, that connects us to a much broader field of wisdom, of connection to source. And it's, in a sense, the bridge between absolute reality and our day-to-day mental fabrications of what reality appears to be. So it's this great sort of neutral middle ground. The sense of I am is this great temporary destination to land in between your voyages into the illusion of thoughts and perceptions and interpretations, mental stories, relationships. And all it takes is to take a deep breath, relax the fuel for the thinking mind, whichever tries to distract you, the fuel being wants or perceived needs. So just take a deep breath and you say to yourself, with feeling, I don't even want anything from anything, not really, at least not for this moment. There's nothing that I want. And then you notice the calming down starts. And again, as the mind diminishes or exits the space of being, what arises in its stead is a clear recognition of this being. So these are not thoughts. I'm sharing thoughts and words, but when you're relaxing your thoughts, see if you can recognize the direct experience of being. The direct experience of being aware of the fact that you exist. This is the great reset. It's a reset that you want to insert into your life on a daily basis. I would even say ideally on an hourly basis, even if just for a few seconds, because that's how powerful this is. A few seconds, an hour of clarity, of seeing through the illusion of the mind is more powerful than the rest of that hour spent in delusive thinking, delusive internal storytelling, delusive interpretations of reality. Because what's actually real, if it's not here when we don't think, is reality, real reality, not our shaped reality, not our subjective, interpretive reality, but if there is an actual reality, and there must be, otherwise there wouldn't be all this stuff, this illusion, this experience. There must be a source to it. So if we call that source a reality, then it must be here, regardless of our thoughts, right? It would be silly if our thoughts somehow sustain the actual true reality of reality. That would be silly. So we have to, if we want to get to know reality, we have to consider what's the most distractive element in our experience that blinds us from reality. And I think we'd all agree it's our thoughts. Because our thoughts literally shape our interpretation of reality. And it doesn't allow us to connect in a meaningful, deep, profound way to this energy that is essentially infinite and inherently intelligent, like intelligent beyond belief, intelligent beyond imagination, intelligent beyond anything that we've ever put on it in terms of a label, even divine labels. This intelligence at the source of what we are is somehow responsible for every single experience we've ever had. It's enabling it. It's making it possible. The fact that we're having an experience right now proves that there is an intelligence behind that there is something that sourced that. You could say that caused that is enabling that. And if something is real, it must be always here. That's one of the criteria of reality. If something just emerges one day, how could it be reality itself? How could it be the really real? You could say that it appears or that it is known, some experience perhaps, or some event or some manifestation, something that wasn't there before. It emerges, it's created, it's produced, it's perceived, it's interpreted, it's imagined perhaps. So it's emerging. But where did it emerge from? There must be a reality that exists prior to the emergence of a particular thing, which is there also while the particular thing appears to be there, and which maintains its existence also when the appearance disappears. So one of the core criteria of something being absolutely real must be that it's always here, that it is always real. It cannot just be real one day and not real the other day. And a lot of this is, at least 50% of my work, my teachings, and what we're going to engage in, is training you directly in the ability to use your mind, your everyday awareness, your everyday consciousness, to activate, to highlight. It's like training, it's like doing push-ups, to strengthen your connection to this underlying source reality. And it's going to take a little bit of adjusting. It's going to take some getting used to, but you're going to get better and better at it. And when you get, quote unquote, better, for lack of a better word, at resting in source, recognizing the power of source, the intelligence of source, beyond your common level of the thinking, interpretive mind, and this is easy to do, you just have to repeat it frequently to get used to it. But as you embark upon this training, using my reminders as tools, you will begin to access a profound intelligence that will, at some point in your journey, blow your mind. Quite literally, it will blow your mind. And when your mind is blown, your heart opens. So that's a good benefit as well. When the mind is blown, the heart opens. You can't prevent that. And by heart, I mean the cosmic heart. I mean the seat of consciousness. I mean this psychic feeling of omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience, intelligence, being in awe of that mystery. The heart will open when the mind gets blown. Don't worry, you'll still have a mind afterwards. You'll be able to use it. But it's just that you'll be taken so deeply beyond the mind, experientially, directly for yourself. And not just due to some kind of a psychedelic trip or some substance that you took, but out of your own will, by your own capacity, due to your own training, you're now able to recognize and plug yourself into something that's not part of this matrix. In fact, it's real, whereas the matrix is unreal. And so there is no benefit that outshines this. There is no perk in life that outshines this. There's no satisfaction greater than this, than blowing your mind and opening the heart, which happens naturally. So that's a big part of the training that I'm going to remind you guys of in many different ways, using many different angles, because for some people, it just takes one silly little insight, like a weird little angle into this whole thing, using something as illusory as words. But yet, somehow, this intelligence knows how to use the words, and it lands for just the right people. And then it's like a key that's entering a lock, and it's unlocking that lock. It doesn't always have to be through hours of meditation every day for the rest of your life. It's a good practice. You can definitely do that. But realization can be unlocked through insight and through logic, through higher logic. So this is what I want to help you with, because, who here, if they're honest, are going to meditate 3 hours a day for the rest of their lives? Like intensely meditating, not just like la, 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 listen to some music, think about some things. No, like intensely concentratingly meditating for 3 hours straight for the rest of their lives. Who here is going to do that? So part of my job, part of my desire since early childhood actually, is to make this easier on people, accepting the limitations they accept for themselves, limitations such as 9-to-5 jobs, limitations such as lack of concentration, limitations such as seemingly having other priorities in life that are more important than concentration, which they're not, but that's okay. Accepting the illusion that these things are more real and more valuable than a practice like this. I accept the fact that that's part and parcel of human reality. So then how can I still help give people access to this clarity? I could instruct them to go meditate 3 hours a day or 8 hours a day for the rest of their lives, but I know the majority of people, if anyone, is going to do that. So then I could complain about that, or beat you over the head with a hammer and say, you should. And sometimes I do try to do that. You'll see. But at the same time, sometimes I will push you a little bit, but at the same time, I accept human nature. I know what laziness is like. I'm also human in a way. I know what laziness is like. I know what misplaced priorities are like. I know the temptation of that, and sort of the addictive nature of our false self-made promises and our misplaced seeking for love and light and joy and all that. So I get it. It's a quagmire it's a maze-like situation of distraction, temptation, hormonal imbalances, all these things. So I get it. It's tough to be human and to concentrate at the same time. Being human is almost equal to being distracted. It's almost the same thing. Unfortunately, because there is immense power in genuine one-pointedness of mind, heart, and spirit. There's great power in that. It would give you satisfaction that nothing in this active, busy life could ever get you. Often, it's not going to happen. You're not going to meditate 3 times a day with this type of clarity, with this type of concentration for the rest of your life. So what's the next best step? Or maybe even a better step. Maybe it's a bit of a hack. And this is to simply talk to you, to talk you through these realizations. It's to talk you through the logic, the insight, the angle of understanding as to why certain things may be the way that they are, or what is possible for you and how you can recognize that right now, how it's already the case for you right now. It's just hidden in plain sight. Things like that. By me simply chatting with you, talking you through some of these insights. And you'll not remember most of them because there will be continuous strings of little insights during these sessions. But by simply paying attention and showing up for a session like this, tuning in, something will happen. Something will give you greater access to a deeper level of your consciousness, for which you don't need psychedelics. And arguably, you don't even want psychedelics for that, because it kind of creates a distortion. You want to be able to access directly the true nature of what you are. At least go deeper into what you truly are and become clearer and clearer and clearer on it. Because the clearer you are on what you are, the less deceivable you are, the less distracted you are, naturally. So, long story short, I want to create in you a sense of conviction that is so clear and pure that it will bypass the need for excessive meditation, that it cuts down on all these years prescribed by the yogis. I will still prescribe meditation. It's a great practice. It has many benefits, especially if done with the correct insight or vision. But also, I want to treat you like modern-day human beings who are on social media, who have endless news feeds, things to do, kids to take care of, jobs to go to. I want to appreciate that. I want to accept that as part of our human chosen reality, and still do my best to help you gain the most out of very, very little exposure to teachings like this, or to very little exposure to meditation. I want to make it easy on you, and some of you will nevertheless meditate a lot, and that's great, good for you. But it's not the only path, it's not the only requirement or catalyst. There's many other triggers possible for, let's just call it enlightenment, at least attain a basic level, a basic stability in the enlightened view of what's always already here, hidden in plain sight, right beneath your mind. That's one of the intentions I have for all of you, to become stable in this through both direct recognition, meditation, occasionally, and conviction, or sheer confidence or faith. And the way that you will gain faith is by me talking, quite honestly. By me talking and you listening, you will gain conviction, and you will sometimes do years worth of meditation in a single session just by letting me guide you through these insights and these angles and reaffirming it and exemplifying it for you. And in the process, helping you directly recognize it, at least for glimpses. You will rewire something in your, bound to be insecure human mind complex. Something will shift in that hardware of yours, and it will make you a confident being. It will help you transcend the ordinary state of being a human being. Nothing wrong with it, but also there's not that much great about it at the same time. So shouldn't be your end goal to just be a normal human being that's always vulnerable and that's always insecure and that just should do shadow work for the rest of their lives. And that's not a very exciting vision for the rest of your life, is it? I don't think so. Yes, shadow work has its place and time. We need to acknowledge the deeper parts of our consciousness, the things we don't want to acknowledge. There's great healing in that, great empowerment in that, and we'll also do some of that work. But you need an exciting, confident vision, knowingness of what you are, what you're capable of, what your potential is. And you need to know that that is more than just being a piece of flesh, sitting in a chair, chewing gum, brushing their teeth every day, going to work, making money to keep the organs alive. You're more than that. So we need also a vision. We need excitement. We need direction. We need a trajectory. We need a vector that we can lock onto with excitement, with confidence. And that is what I will bring to the table simply by talking and guiding you through these experiential realizations and the things that I've realized, and letting this freshness speak through me without me having any plan as to what to say. This is the first session of potentially a big project, you could say. Bentinho Live, announcements, all that stuff, trailers. And I haven't thought about what to say at all before I showed up. Meaning, I'm not trying to say like I don't give a shit about this program and I don't care about you guys. I'm trying to say the opposite. I'm trying to say that once you have access to this yourself, you'll be able to speak for hours straight in front of an audience of 10,000 people with not a single drop of sweat, unless it's hot, which it kind of is here right now, dripping down your face. And you'll be able to be connected to what matters, to the people in that room, and you'll be able to take them from where they think they're at to a vision that's much greater and that's much more exciting to them and much more life-giving to them, that gives them direction, that even gives them motivation to meditate or focus or concentrate or apply themselves. Because if you just have a lackluster image of yourself as just a body of flesh and bone that has to work and all that stuff, if you have a very ordinary view of yourself, then why would you meditate? And where's the energy to even meditate? Like, what are you moving towards if that's the image you have of yourself? So I want to elevate your image of yourself, your understanding of yourself. And I can guarantee you, no matter how beautiful that image is, it will never even come close to the reality of what you are. But at least it'll get you on track. At least it will get you hooked to what you truly are, and then guiding you through these insights. They will lock into place for you. They will become pillars of strength, pillars of sourcefulness, pillars of confidence. All you have to do is listen, show up. That's your only requirement. Maybe do some of the homework, but that's really it. And you're free to go read a yogic book and go meditate 8 hours a day and try to fit that into your life. But this is the most efficient way that I've found, is some consistency, someone connected to this field speaking to you, and you are also this field. So it's really you talking to yourself and listening to sourceful instruction. Like I said, I think I was quoted on it in one of the newsletters or the webpage or something. Enlightenment is for everyone, and I believe that. You just need enough desire and clear instruction. The enough desire part is up to you. The clear instruction part, I'll take on, at least for now, until you can fully instruct yourself. And I think in the symbiotic relationship between your desire of showing up, of being earnest and sincere, and my duty and passion to connect to this intelligence and guide you through these insights and up-level your view of yourself to match reality, or at least to be a closer match to reality. I think we got a beautiful relationship here, in a sense, and a very constructive training platform. So that's the foundation, that's the essence of what's going to make these teachings land for you. Your desire and clear instruction. That's what we need. So I want to actually surprise you in terms of how much you can shift, how much you can wake up from your old stories, your old pain, your old delusion, your old suffering, your old patterns, your old struggles, your old habits, your low self-esteem. I don't mean to make it sound all bad, what you currently have. I'm sure you have a lot of good stuff going on within your psychology as well. But you get the point. On the scale of cosmic revelation or cosmic understanding, humans think extremely little of themselves, very low. They don't see what they are. They can't typically see beyond the skull and the skin line and their position in this physical life. So we need to be reminded. And once we are reminded, we can start to penetrate with our consciousness, with our attentive listening, with our intuitive, earnest, open-mindedness, with the willingness of our hearts. We can, through simple dialogue or monologue even, through simple attuned listening, we can use our consciousness, our attention, to penetrate, for lack of a better word, these little veils of man-made constructs that we've accepted, that we've tolerated into our consciousness, to delude us and to dilute us and to defile us, to keep us small. And we simply, through listening attentively, even if you don't catch every word, if you don't understand everything I'm saying, doesn't matter. By attentively, I mean with sincere intent for a breakthrough, for sincere intent for realization, self-realization, to expand for you. It's the only ingredient we need here. The rest will take care of itself. And I want to surprise you with what's possible for you. I want to excite you again. Like when you were a kid, you believe you were a superhero. You know, you're just running around the neighborhood, convinced you'd turn into one of the superheroes. Maybe I'm projecting my own childhood, but that was me. It's still me, actually. So, but I want to connect you back to that sourcefulness before you became overly vulnerable, before you believed you were this vulnerable little lump of flesh in a dangerous alien world with lots of abuse and mistrusting adults, and before all that. And most of us can't even remember what that was like, but it exists. This innocence, this radiance, this playfulness, this natural confidence. And I want to reconnect us to that and infuse our current adult spiritual journey, our spiritual seeking, our studies, our spiritual scientific applications of these teachings, which are ancient and timeless and pristine. I want to infuse that with this childlike confidence, innocence, joy, grandioseness almost. Not that we go manic or that we become delusional or that we become untasteful in our interactions with others or we just blurt our delusions out there for everyone. No, it's a tasteful connection to this inner sense of everything is possible. Knowing that there's this whole ordinary human level out there where we're supposed to interact in a certain way and we're supposed to think about each other in a certain way and all that. We can respect that as it is or not, but for ourselves internally, to know that everything is possible and to reconnect to that childlike confidence, that childlike inner knowing, and to then infuse that into, quote unquote, the work, the techniques, the methodologies, the insights that we on an intellectual level can exchange and can embark upon. And as always, I will always focus on what works well, what I know from experience works well for the majority of people. And I will leave out all the things that don't, leave out all the detours that I know are for most people unnecessary detour. Now, if there's a one-on-one exchange at some point during these webinars, and it turns out that you need a specific insight or you need a specific instruction, then I will obviously give that to you. And I will preface that with saying, this is relevant for you. It may not be relevant for everyone. But on the whole, when I'm teaching, when I'm monologuing, when I'm streaming in your direction, when I'm lifing, Bentinho lifing twice a month, all you need to do is just chill, relax, attune to what's being spoken, the frequency behind it, the intention behind it. And I will keep it generally super effective, so I will not include anything that's not necessary. And I will highlight everything that is crucial, necessary, and foundational.
Massaro University is a vibrant online community dedicated to accelerating your awakening and activating your purpose for the benefit of all. Join live sessions with Bentinho and workshops led by experienced facilitators. Deepen your wisdom, empowerment, and self-knowledge, and experience life-changing shifts week after week. At Massaro University, finding like-hearted seekers is easy and inevitable. Lifelong friendships and a shared purpose fuel profound personal and collective growth. Create your free account today at massaro.university and step into a community that's designed to elevate every aspect of your life.
All right, so that's it for a little introduction into what you can expect or how to approach this. And I'll leave some room for Q&A in a minute. But let me just tune in, see if anything else wants to be shared at this moment. Oh yeah, well, there is an element of, okay, we've got what, like 400 people here or something? Something like that. And there is an element of, this is a new crowd in a way, and some of you are revisiting. But in a sense, it's a new crowd. And with a new collective, there's always some initial, whether it's a retreat I go to or a short event or some configuration in the team changes, or I'm with my family for a few days or whatever. Anytime there's a new group, there is a new vibrational formula, if you will. Every group is a unique confirmation or a configuration. And you know this from your own friends. You might be with 3 particular friends one day, and that has a very different vibe than being with even 2 of these same friends, but then this one other dude or this one other gal. And then somehow it becomes a different kind of meeting. There's different kinds of interests, and even with a small change like that. But, you know, let alone a completely different group of friends from a completely different generation or field of interest, and you become a completely different person, right? Not you in the core of you, but how you're acting, responding on the surface. You start playing with having these different personalities in your closet that you can just put on like a jacket, and hopefully don't forget to put it off before you go to sleep to remember who you really are. But you get the point. Every little group has a different configuration of energy. And so us here coming together is a new constellation. So I want to ask you to be patient with this constellation, with each other, and in a sense also with me, as I'm dialing this in, and as I'm harmonizing this field, and as you guys are harmonizing this field. And again, simply by these monologues and by these dialogues and these interactions that we'll be having, in the course of 2 or 3 months, you will find that the unity is palpable. You can actually feel, even if you don't consider yourself super sensitive or whatever, you'll be able to just intuitively feel a sense of cohesion and unity and single-mindedness, clarity. So let's give it a little bit of time for that to be created. These teachings do have an ability to do this quite fast, but some of you might be new to this type of work, although I think most of you are not, but some of you might be. So be patient with yourself. Don't feel like you have to understand everything or that you have to be best friends with everyone right off the bat. You are, but you don't have to realize that yet. Just like you're already enlightened, you just don't realize it yet. Unity, harmony, love, all these things are already the case. You just don't realize it yet. Hence, we need some teachings. But as this gets revealed, as the basic nature of our consciousness, of our unity, of our clarity gets revealed to us experientially, we'll naturally plug into this unity, this sense of love, harmony, compassion for each other. And then also what emerges, which is another big proponent of this platform, because it drives a lot of my actions in life. And that's the idea of having a mission. So this is what I briefly wanted to chat with you about as well. I might do sort of a deep dive course at some point into this, but also it will just bleed through naturally into these sessions. It'll just be infused in this. But there is great importance, in my view, or let's say value. I wouldn't say importance, because you don't have to do it. It's not a must or should, and otherwise you're failing at life. Not at all. But there's great value in this, optionally, so you can choose it. And what I have found that with impeccable clarity and freedom as to what I truly am, like existentially speaking, as the nature of reality, as one with God, quite a statement, but I make the statement for you guys as well, that what you are is one with God. But when you can see that and realize that at will, at any moment in life, no matter what's going on around you or within you, when this recognition is ablaze, when it is clear, when it is self-evident, when it is undeniably in your face all the time, to different degrees of clarity and purity perhaps, but nevertheless a baseline recognition of your divinity, of the actual nature of what you are, which is infinite intelligence, when that's so palpable to you, when you cannot deny it, when it's shining through every other layer of your life, every other interaction that you're having, and thus your heart is open naturally and you're automatically generous and giving, sometimes to a fault, and you need to learn how to close your heart back up. Sounds weird, but in a sense, sometimes you got to learn that balance a little bit in certain ways. Not ultimately, but we'll get into these kinds of nuances. But where your heart is automatically open and it's automatically giving, then what's the only thing that remains in terms of your true driving engines? Doesn't mean you don't prefer ice cream over poop or coffee over tea, but in terms of a driving engine, the core fuel of your life, what is left when you don't really want anything from anyone or anything, because whatever you could ever want is just shining out of your face right here, right now. It's just present to you. Then imagine what's the result of that in terms of, okay, then what's the relevance of my relative day-to-day life within this play, within this illusion, if you will. I call it an illusion because I think it is an illusion. Some people don't like that idea, but this is an illusion of perception. It's an interpreted version of reality. So within my interpreted version of reality, within my dreamscape, what's the relevance? What relevance is left if essentially these teachings help you find what you've always been looking for? And you can tap into directly within yourself, then what becomes of this externally driven, validation-driven, insecurity-based, gremlin-like tactician that is, insert your own name here, this personality construct that has their whole lives planned out, that has all these ambitions and intentions. What if you were fulfilled right now? What if you had access to something that just makes you radiantly happy, clear, awake, beyond your thoughts, beyond your, in a sense, wildest dreams? What happens then? What becomes of me, the little me? What becomes of the expressive me, the external me? And this is where a mission-based life provides you with a vehicle, and also before you reach that point of clarity or awakening. So in both realities, both when you're still confused and seeking for source, and you don't quite yet see how to access it, as well as once you've accessed it so profoundly that it's just shining in your own face all the time and you can't get rid of this clear awareness anymore. In both cases of an individual's journey, having a mission-based protocol or life or understanding of your life gives you the groundedness, gives you the relevance that you need to navigate the illusion, whether you're still caught up in the illusion a lot of the time, or whether you're mostly anchored in clarity beyond the illusion through tools and techniques that we're going to address. Either way, whether you're still in samsara, so to speak, or you're already very connected to nirvana, in both cases, equally so, having a blueprint for living, having an understanding of why you are here, a mission-based protocol, a mission-based insight into your life is extremely helpful. It's extremely useful, and it allows you to deepen your devotion even after awakening. It allows you to purify yourself even more after awakening, because now you've got something bigger than yourself. Sounds cliche, but it's so effective, my friends. You've got something bigger than yourself to worry about. You're going to worry about something. You're going to place your attention on something sooner or later. Someone's going to call your name. You're going to need to, eat some food and take a poop. Sorry for all the poop today. Poop. And you're going to be placing your attention into something. You're going to invest your energy into something. So it might as well be something that I believe you actually came here for, the intention that gave birth to many of your lives. You don't have to take that on, but that's my conviction. That's how I see it. But many of you chose to come into this incarnation, to put your consciousness into a vehicle of a body, seemingly, in this world, to help out, to help awaken people, to find clarity and to help others find clarity. And when you've got something bigger than your little self to care about on a day-to-day basis, when that's your protocol, when that's your incentive for living, everything falls in place. Everything falls into place for you. Everything lines up behind that. And you gain even greater access to purity, and your understanding of God's nature within your very own beingness clarifies itself, purifies itself. And you will experience such profound communion with love, with a universal sense of wholeness that cannot be described and cannot be found in any object of this world. And you have everything you need to access that and to strengthen that gateway right here, right now. And that's what I'm going to intend to teach you and talk you through and to establish as naturally, as effortlessly, sufficiently, no frills, no bullshit, no religious nonsense, no atheistic nonsense either, because that's just as nonsensical. Just straight up clarity, straight up juice, straight up connection to source. And I think my team described this as a charging station for your connection to source. And I can wholeheartedly agree with that view of what Bentinho life is. It's a consistent charging station for your connection to source. That is a pretty good description. So part of what we'll be doing here is training you for your individual well-being, but also to whatever degree you want to subscribe to that, whatever degree you want to participate in that. I will also begin to hint at you being a free agent that's here to help in the ignition of global awakening. You can have a different version of this mission, but basically the premise is you came here with a reason. You didn't just randomly show up. You came here with a profound intention, and it's invaluable for you to rediscover, to reconnect to what that is, and to begin to align the elements of your day-to-day life, your relationships, your environment, the architecture, your schedule, your intentions, your motivations, your commitments, your promises, to align these to your core intent for being here. And that's you living a mission-based life. Whether or not you could sort of join in with our mission or not, doesn't really matter. It's about you connecting to why you are here. And I propose that a lot of us came here with sort of a shared intention. But again, you don't have to believe that. But you do want to find what is sourceful for you and why you are here. Because if you don't, what's the point? Even after awakening, then what's the point? Even after like high level awakening, like high enlightenment, what's the point? If there's not something holding you here with relevance, with a sense of purpose, with a reason. This is why I say a mission-based life is equally as important for the deluded mind as it is for the awakened mind. It grounds, it gives structure, it gives relevance, it gives consistency. It allows you to hang around a little longer and benefit a few more people. And enjoy the journey while you're at it and learn subtle nuances on a relative level. You become a powerhouse, you become a balanced, highly capable consciousness. And you will transcend ordinary human consciousness. This is my promise for all of you, that this is your true nature and this is accomplishable for you. And this is what's exciting, I think. I hope. So part of this is going to be helping you become trained in how to be a free agent that's of service to others. That's a strong component of my work. If you don't like that element as much, I wouldn't see why you don't like it at all, but maybe you don't resonate with that concept of service to others or team-based living or mission-based living. Maybe it doesn't resonate for you completely. Maybe you just want to hear the nuggets and get the insights and generate your own access to source, and that's it for now or forever. That's totally fine as well. You will still be able to extract that from this, but there will be sessions where it's more focused on encouraging you to be of service to others and to help you to really connect to why you are here and channel that into your manifest life as well.
Thank you for watching this Bentinho live session. Bentinho now hosts these transformative live sessions completely free, offering profound insights and guidance to support your journey. To attend the next live session with Bentinho, simply visit Massaro University and follow the instructions to create your free account.